What's going on, everybody? It's Giunta with Trend Trading Academy. I'm here to help you trade and get paid. Welcome to another episode of Make Moves Monday. Motivation, mindset, trading psychology. You already know what we do on Mondays. I'm here to help you get your mind right. I'm here to help you get things together so you can face another week of trading and have success. In today's video, I want to help you to understand what a trading routine looks like. You guys have asked me a million times on there in the comments and whatever, like, what does my routine look like for trading? Well, now I'm about to give it to you, all right? So that's what we're going to talk about. What does a trading routine look like, and how do I develop my own routine so I can be a successful trader? Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, click the little bell so you get notifications every time we drop videos. And let's get to it. All right, guys, so let's jump right into it, all right? In today's video, like we said, we're going to talk about developing a trading routine. You guys have asked me a lot of times what my trading routine looks like. You know, how do I prepare for trades? You know, what am I doing prior to getting into trades? Like, what does my routine look like? And so that's what we're going to talk about. It's highly important that you develop a pre-routine prior to your trading routine. Let's talk about that first, because before you can really get into the actual routine of what you do during a trade, you need to have your mind already prepared. You know, you don't want to show up to the market. You don't want to show up to your trading session and you haven't already been prepared. You haven't already got your mind in the right place. If you're trying to get your mind into the right place while the market is happening, you're going to end up making some bad decisions. So it's important that you already have your mind ready so that when you're there and you're ready to start trading, you're in there, right? Your mind is already in place, your mindset's already right, and you're ready to attack the market as it comes. So first, let's get a couple of preconceived ideas out of the way. Number one, let's talk about this. Trading is very much like a chess match. You know, you're playing against an opponent, right? And in this case, the market maker, the broker, however you want to look at that. But really, the biggest enemy is yourself, right? The biggest enemy you have is you, right? You don't necessarily lose to an opponent unless you make a mistake. And so what we need to understand is that the market has no emotion. First, let's get that on the table. The market is emotionless. The market does not make its decisions. The market makers do not make their decisions based on emotion. The enemy, the game itself that you're playing, is emotionless. So when you come to a game that plays without emotion and you are playing with emotion, you are already fighting a losing battle. So it's kind of like when you're playing poker or playing chess. You know, if you look across the table at the person you're playing against, you know, many times they got like glasses on. You know, you see these silly things that they do to kind of take the attention away from the tells that they may have. Because one of the greatest parts of being a chess player or a card player or whatever like that is not even just the skill of the game itself, which of course is part of it, but it's also masking what it is that you got going on inside your mind. You don't want your opponent being able to read you, much less the cards that you have or the chess pieces that you're going to move. So, you know, one of the first rules of poker, as they say, is that you're not playing the cards, you're playing the opponent, right? And so that's essentially what we're doing in Forex. The issue is that the opponent that we're facing is emotionless. There are no tells as far as emotion is concerned. You can't look at the chart and say, I think the buyers are real happy today. Or I think the sellers are real strong today. You can't do that just based on feeling. You have to know what you're looking at. The only tells that the market has are price action principles. We can look at what price is doing, and that is how we know what the next moves are going to be. We don't base any of that on emotion. You are playing against an emotionless opponent. So when you come to the game with emotion, when you come into the game and you've got tells, I'm telling you right now, the market is going to pick you apart. You need to make sure that you don't have emotion involved in your decisions, that you are making them based on principle alone. All right, hear me now. You need to be making your decisions in the trading game on principle alone. I don't care how I feel about something. I don't care, I kind of got a bad feeling, or I kind of have a good feeling. Go with your gut. That's a bunch of garbage when it comes to trading. Your gut is not telling you how to trade. The candlesticks are telling you how to trade. The market is telling you how to trade. Because at the end of the day, we're not playing against our opponent. We're letting our opponent make his move, and then we are riding the momentum of our opponent, right? So it's a very unique game where, yes, we can lose to our opponent, but we want our opponent to be successful because really we are riding the momentum and the strength of our opponent. So our opponent becomes our best friend. Our opponent becomes the thing that carries us to success to begin with. So it's a very unique thing having to play against and play with the market. That's why we cannot have emotion tied into any of it. And the market doesn't play on emotion. So let's make sure that we have all emotion removed and make sure that we come in understanding that while the market can hurt us, the market is also our best friend. And while the market is what we're riding to success, the market can also destroy us. It really comes down to how you play the market, how you enter and exit the market. And that's why we cannot play an emotionless market based on emotion. Think of it this way. At the end of the day, your mindset is going to define your losses and your wins. How much you lose and how much you win is going to be defined by your mindset. You can say all you want about strategy and having a winning strategy. I actually had somebody on my YouTube comments the other day telling me that I was wrong because strategy comes before risk management. And I'm like, that's crazy talk. I've shown you guys numerous times on my channel how you can take a 50% strategy and with the right risk management plan, make money. Strategy doesn't come before risk management. Risk management comes before strategy. You can take a losing strategy, a barely winning strategy, a 50% strategy, and make great money if you have a good risk management plan in place. Again, it's mindset. It's not putting the cart before the horse. How you come into things, how your mind works, how you've disciplined and trained your mind to work is really going to determine the limits of your success and failure. I'm going to read to you a quote from Paul Tudor Jones, who may be the greatest Forex trader of all time. He said it this way: don't be a hero. Don't have an ego. Always question yourself and your ability. Don't ever feel that you are very good. The second you do, you're dead. That comes from maybe the greatest Forex trader ever. Okay? I'm telling you something. We cannot allow emotion to drive us. Everything is based on principle. So why is that important when I'm talking about routine? Because that is developed in routine. When we don't have consistency, our emotions get the best of us. When we don't have a consistent routine or plan in place, that's when emotions make decisions for us, because we don't have the boundaries, the guidelines, the guardrails, if you will, that are kind of keeping us on track. When we don't have that boundary set, when we don't have those principles set, we tend to make decisions based on how we feel, right? And what looks good to us in the moment, what kind of how things look right now, and how they make us feel. That's why it's so important that when we want to be successful traders, that we don't just base things on, hey, I think I'll get up and start trading now. No. We need to have a routine in place, because that routine will help us to get into the proper mindset prior to entering the market, okay? So you need to ask yourself, if you're going to develop a routine, what type of a trader are you? Are you a scalper? Are you a day trader? Are you a swing trader? Do you trade the London session? Do you trade the US session? How do you trade? Especially if you're a short-term scalper day trader, you need to determine when you're going to trade, the frequency of your trading, how often are you going to trade, how much is the percentage you're going to trade in each trade, What's the risk that you're going to take? What's the pip goal? All of those things play a factor into who you are as a trader. So let's just say you're somebody who wants to be a day trader and you want to trade the London session. Why? Because London has more volatility and a lot of movement. And so there's great opportunity as a day trader in the London session, or a scalper. Okay, so you're a short-term scalper / day trader. You're going to trade the London session. Maybe your plan is to take one trade every session if the market makes it available to you. So let's say you're going to go in. You're going to spend some time looking at the charts, and you're going to find a trade that you're going to get into. Well, if you have that set up predetermined that I'm going to take a trade, well, now 3 trades is off the table. I'm not going to take 3 trades because I've predetermined that one trade is what I'm going to take. Okay, so why is that important? Well, what if the market gives me 3 trades? Well, that sounds good, but if you go into it with the mindset of having one trade set up, but you go in and now, oh man, I think there's a couple more setups, I'm going to take more. Really what that does is you are breaking outside of your guidelines. And if extra trades can break you outside of your guidelines, what else can break you outside of your guidelines? If you don't have a plan or rules in place that are strong enough to withstand the pressure of outside influence, you're not going to be able to trade successfully, sustainably. Hear me, successfully, sustainably. You might get a couple of profitable turns. Oh, we had a London session where I took a few trades and won. Great, that's awesome. Can you do that sustainably? Because, are you looking to be just like a flash in the pan, a strike of lightning, or are you really looking to be successful sustainably, right? Do you want to be long-term successful? And so you need to have a set of guidelines, rules, boundaries that guide you that cannot be pressured and broken. So in other words, if I have a set of rules, how much pressure does it take to get me to break those rules, right? Does a couple of good-looking trades come and that causes me to break my rules? Because if that's a strong enough pressure to break your rules, what if a couple of trades come that look good, but they're really not good, and you end up losing? So you had a good winning trade, but then you lost another trade, and now you've lost money or barely broke even because you broke your rules, right? You need to have some boundaries in place that will help you to maintain and withstand the pressures of wanting to go outside of your trade plan. All of that is important because when we have those boundaries, that dictates how we set up our routine. If you're going to trade the London session, it starts at 3 a.m. Eastern. Maybe that means that you're going to get up at 1 a.m. Eastern and you're going to spend a couple of hours preparing and seeing how the market is approaching London. If you're going to trade London, you don't want to just get up at 2:55 and, jump in the charts. Well, hey, what's happening? Here's a couple of candlesticks. I'll take a trade. There needs to be some preparation that goes into that, right? You need to make sure that your mind's right. For me, that comes with prayer. That comes with meditation. I'll sit down on my little couch where I set up and trade at in my basement. And I'll sit there and I'll drink a cup of coffee or maybe a bottle of water, depending on what time of the day it is, because I don't trade a specific session. And I'll pray. I'll talk to God, kind of get my mind at peace, get my mind right, get the distractions out of my mind, get to a place where my focus is narrowed in. I don't want to be all over the place thinking about 5 or 6 different things, thinking about what I got planned for the rest of the day, thinking about where I'm going tomorrow, thinking about, I don't want my mind on all that stuff. I want my mind focused on the charts. I want to be thinking about what's going on the charts. So for me, that's prayer. I don't know what that is for you. I definitely would highly recommend prayer, but maybe that's sitting there reading a book. Maybe that's sitting there doing something kind of mindless, maybe playing a little stupid game on your phone or something. Mindless activity is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's good to just instead of thinking constantly, sometimes it's good to just kind of get your mind off of, something where you always got to plan or focus, get your mind at peace, at rest, and do something that is going to get you unfocused on everything else so you can refocus on the charts. The next thing is putting yourself in a place where there's no distraction. I don't think you want to be trading while you're, driving down the road, driving on the road while you're kind of messing with your phone. That's not a great place to be trading, because number one, of course, it's unsafe, but specifically with trading, it's distracting. You don't got your mind focused on those charts, especially when there's something that grave or that serious like driving that has to demand other attention, right? Maybe you're a single mom. You don't probably want to be trading while you got kids running all over the place, and that could be a lot of your day, and so you need to somehow structure your schedule and stuff in such a way where maybe you're trading the morning session after the kids go to school. Maybe you're trading the evening after the kids are in bed. Maybe you're waking up a few hours early before the kids go to school so that you can have some dedicated focused time where you're not distracted by a ton of other things going on, right? If you work a job where you're physical or you're out and you're kind of busy and you got to focus, you don't want to be there working and got one thing going on one screen on the computer while you're doing something else, trading on the other. You're not focused, right? So if you're going to be successful in trading, you need some focus. So what does that mean? That means I'm going to sit down and I'm going to unfocus from everything else, and I'm going to place myself in a position where I can give my attention to the charts. And I'm giving undivided attention where I don't have my attention going to 20 different things. Once you get to that place where you're unfocused on everything else and you're distraction free, now you can go onto the charts because you don't have any other distractions. So you don't want to be trading and you got Facebook open. You don't want to be trading and you got 20 things going on. Again, you want to be focused, all right? Now that you're there, you're unfocused from everything else, you're focused on the charts. Let's sit down, and you don't just come in and start pressing buy or sell, right? You want to see your top-down analysis. What is the market doing from the weekly? Now, if you're a swing trader like me, the chart didn't change. When I look at the weekly chart on a daily basis, the chart doesn't change much because it's a bigger time frame. However, that doesn't stop me from looking at that chart. I don't care if I've memorized it, which I have. I can tell you exactly what's going on in GBP, AUD, and I don't even need to look at it to do so. But that doesn't stop me from studying that top-down analysis. I start from the weekly, even though I've memorized it, even though I've seen it 100 times, even though it seems like I'm looking at the same exact picture. I want to look at it, number one, to confirm that nothing else has happened. Number two, that I've got my mind focused from that top-down analysis. This is where I'm at on the weekly. This is where I'm at on the daily. This is where I'm at on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, whatever it might be. Make sure that you do that preparation. Make sure you go in and make sure your lines and all your charts are looking right. Make sure you got your trend line in the right spot. Make sure the fib, that even though you might have looked at that fib 5 times already this week, look at it again, prepare. Make sure that you've gone through, because there's something that goes on in the mind. Repetitiveness or repetition really breeds memory. And you can say, I've looked at it, but let me tell you, measure twice, cut once is always a good rule. It's always good to do extra preparation rather than saying, oops, I forgot something later on. Go on the charts. That repetition of seeing that same thing over and over again is gonna do wonders in your mindset, because number one, it confirms everything that you're looking at, but number two, and more importantly, it puts you in a place or a position of confidence. You've seen it, you know it like the back of your hand, so you're confident in it. You're not second guessing when it comes time to pull the trigger. When it comes time to actually enter a trade or exit a trade, you know, because you've looked at it over and over and over again, and that repetition has put confidence in you, right? And that's mindset. That puts you in a place where I know what I'm looking at. I'm sure of what I'm looking at, so I'm not second guessing getting in or getting out. All right? That comes in preparation. That should be part of your trading routine. I just believe that if you will do the right amount of preparation and the right steps of preparation, of getting yourself completely focused on what it is that you have in front of you, and then being confident in the thing that you're doing, when you've done that extra preparation and you know exactly what you're doing, you've done the preparation, you're focused in, and you got that level of confidence because of the repetition, because you're comfortable with the charts, because you're comfortable with your knowledge of what it is you're doing, those things are going to be vital when you're actually in the trade, because now you're not going to be freaking out, frantic, and saying, oh, do I get in? Do I get out? Oh, it's going down, it's going up. And you're not freaking out. You're chill. You're relaxed. You're like, okay, cool. The trade is going in my direction. Oh, I'm in drawdown. Either way, it doesn't matter, because you've done your homework. You've prepared. Your mind is in the right place, and you're good to go. All right? So I'm telling you guys, the preparation, the pre-trade routine, again, whether that's coffee, water, whether that's relaxation, whether that's a video game on your phone, whether that's, reading a book, whether that's prayer, whatever that looks like for you, getting your mind off of the bills, the schedule, the work, the everything else you got going on, and kind of just getting disconnected so that you can get reconnected to the right thing. Do it, whatever that is. And then unwind. And then refocus. Now that you're focused, I'm telling you, you're going to be that much more effective. You're going to be that much more precise in your execution. You're going to be that much more confident in your execution. And you're going to make strong, disciplined decisions because of your preparation. So I want to encourage you to develop a pre-trading routine, and don't break it. Don't break it. Stick with it. And I promise you, something so simple as a routine, a repetitious routine, is going to make you more successful in your Forex trading. All right, guys, there you have it. I hope this video helped you. Guys, our mindset is everything. That's what we do on Make Moves Monday. So make sure that you develop that pre-trading routine. Make sure you get this together so you can unfocus, unwind, refocus. That's the steps. You need that, all right? It's going to take your trading to the next level. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Click the bell to get notifications. If you want to become a student, go to trendtrading.academy and join us. I'm telling you, the team is winning. We're making money together. We got a lot to offer. The YouTube is just kind of like a free trial, if you would. You get to see what we do on YouTube. But I'm telling you, when you join TTA, you're going to see a whole new level of what we do together as a team. And if you haven't seen the trading psychology test, the quiz that I put out, I want you to watch this video right here, because I promise you, it will help you to get your mind in the right place. Watch that video. I'll see you on the next one.